Australia was originally founded as a settlement for British convicts. Lisa, watch your camera.
Hey guys, so tomorrow is Australia Day here down under, and I for one am in a patriotic mood, and despite what people may tell you, there's nothing wrong with that. So I thought I'd put together a list of shows and movies to watch on Australia Day. You don't have to be Australian to enjoy this list. If you're interested in our culture, there's some really good movies on here, all different genres. There's some TV shows. There's some scary movies, some drama movies, so there's something for everybody. There's some well-known movies and some more sort of niche Australian sort of indie movies that not a lot of people have probably heard of outside of Australia. So if you're interested in that, please keep watching, and also if you would like to support my channel by just giving me a like, that would really help me out. Thanks guys. So this isn't going to be a list of the most iconic Australian movies out there like Crocodile Dundee. It's just movies that I personally enjoy and TV shows. So first up is an Australian movie creature feature called Bait. So it stars Xavier Samuel. It's set in a small coastal Australian beach town where there's this like tsunami, and there's these people in a grocery store, and the tsunami hits the grocery store and they're all trapped underwater with a great white shark. So there's a lot of home and away talent on this list. Xavier Samuel is one of them, and there's another guy from Home and Away in this movie too, and a girl as well actually. Basically, if you're in an Australian movie, chances are that you've been in Home and Away. Anyway, so this is a movie that I really enjoy. I've always been a huge sucker for creature features. I can't wait to see like Cocaine Bear coming out this year, and 65 with Adam Driver, or is it 65 or 64? Whatever, the dinosaur movie. Anyway, so if you like creature features, you might want to check this movie out. So the next one is Tomorrow When the War Began. So this came out in 2010. It's a movie based on a book about a group of teenagers who go camping in remote Australia. So they're from a small town, and when they get back they find out that war has broken out in their country, and they're the only ones in their town that haven't been rounded up and captured. It's a really good movie. It's a drama movie. I saw it when I was in high school, and I remembered that I really wanted to read the books after, and I never got around to doing it. But anyway, that's a really good movie that I feel like really showcases small town Australia. So just like Bait made you afraid of the ocean, Wolf Creek made everybody afraid of the Australian outback. So this was based on a true story. Who knows how true it actually was. But it's based on this Australian serial killer who goes around killing tourists. There's a TV show that is actually like a sequel TV show. Sort of like, you know, Bates Motel. Well, that's a prequel TV show. But anyway, so it's a really good show. It's on an Australian streaming platform called Stan. I don't know if it's anywhere else apart from that. And I'm pretty sure Wolf Creek 1 and 2 are pretty widely available everywhere. So I think it's a pretty good horror movie. It's got really good suspense. It's got a serial killer who is genuinely terrifying. Like, move aside Jason and Michael Myers, this guy is terrifying because there's something just so real about him. Anyway, so for all you horror lovers, that's definitely a good one to add to your list. So the next one is called Two Hands, and it stars a young Heath Ledger. So this is available in Australia anyway, on Netflix and Amazon. I'm not sure about overseas. But it was filmed in 1999, the same year as he filmed 10 Things I Hate About You. So basically this is about a young Australian guy who he plays, and he gets mixed up in the Australian mafia. Yes, we have an Australian mafia apparently. Anyway, so it's sort of funny because we all know him obviously as the Joker who's involved with the mafia. So it's sort of like an origin story for the Joker. Well, I sort of see it that way. So it also stars Rose Byrne. I think I'm saying her name correctly. And look, it's not an amazing movie, but it's definitely enjoyable, and it's really interesting to see these two actors that have become so well known later on in their life, seeing them when they were teenagers. So if any of you remember that movie Homeward Bound, this is sort of like the Australian version of that. So we have a golden retriever who doesn't want to have a family. He wants to be a wild dog out in the wilderness by himself, so he runs away. And it's a kids' movie, so obviously there's a message of family and friendship. And I remember watching this when I was a little girl, and I was so obsessed with this movie. I would watch it again and again and fall asleep listening to it. Like, I'm not even joking. So anyway, this dog goes on this adventure and he meets like a kookaburra, a turtle, different Australian animal friends, and it's just a really sweet movie. So anyway, the last one on this list is pretty much as far away from being a sweet movie as you can get. It's called The Loved Ones. It's another Australian horror movie, also starring Xavier Samuel once again. So anyway, he plays this high schooler who has a stalker, so it's definitely one of those stalker obsession movies. And I will say that this movie has one of the most disturbing endings I've ever seen in a movie, and I do not get disturbed easily. So basically, we all know how it goes with these stalker movies. This girl has a crush on him. He doesn't feel the same way. He already has a girlfriend and crazy stuff happens, so that's definitely worth checking out. It's not a movie, if you're squeamish, that you should watch because there are some disturbing, violent themes in this movie. And that's it for the movies. As for the TV shows, there's that episode of Modern Family where they go to Australia. I love Modern Family. I love Mitch and Cam especially. They're my favourite characters. It's such a good TV show. And this episode has always been one of my favourite ones. So apart from that, there's a TV show called Kath and Kim, which is a very Australian show. It's like an Australian sitcom about this mother and daughter who live in suburban Australia. And it's sort of like Seinfeld in that it's a show about nothing. Nothing really happens that dramatic. It's like their everyday sort of lives. And it's a show that I've always really enjoyed. There's a few movies that have been made about it. And yeah, that's my list. Like I said, it's not going to have the most amazing Oscar-worthy movies on it. They're just Australian movies that I've really enjoyed growing up. So let me know your recommendations below if you have any. I'd really like to know them. And if you could like, subscribe, all of that, it really helps me out. Thanks, guys.